I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Larsen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo,
and
you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Well, here we are. It is GTL Live for the first time in 2025. I was having a little look through. The last live stream we did was the one we did together for Rafael Nadal retiring.
Oh, wow.
We used to live on live streams. We was always doing them. Pretty much all of our podcasts, all of our draw previews, all of our matches, predictions, everything was done live. It was good for you because it was less editing. It was risky for both of us because we would get exposed on a regular basis. But it was fun, and we was able to speak to you guys in the community and really get a feel for the tennis world and what's going on. So shout out to everyone who's joining. We've got Kathy in. We've got Yugoslav in. We've got Gary. It's a lot of the same people. Gary comes in with, it's a Christmas miracle. Apparently, in the UK, it is a white Christmas this year. Have you seen any snow?
No, it's been really sunny where I've been. But I think starting off, what we should say, everybody who has joined, a big Merry Christmas to everybody to start it off. Hopefully everybody, wherever you are in the world, you've been having a fantastic Christmas day. I'm sure in America, it's just sort of beginning, really. You're in the morning. Here, it's closing in on about 5 o'clock. So we've had some food. Have you eaten yet, JG?
Yes, I have eaten, but that's another drama. I'll get to that in a second and I'll explain what's been happening. But the reason I said it being a white Christmas is because there must have been one, I don't know, flake of snow for that to be classified. It was on the news. They're saying it's a white Christmas in the UK. But I looked outside. I've seen no snow whatsoever. And yeah, great to see some comments coming in. Let's see what Kathy's saying. So Kathy's saying, Merry Christmas, everyone. Let us know, where are you today, Kathy? Are you celebrating with family? What's going on in your neck of the woods? It's great to be speaking to you. We've got Gary saying we've had snow in Florida in early 2025.
Wow.
Must be a first.
There you go. That's it. I'm looking forward just to having a few days off, as I'm sure probably everybody is. Seeing some family tomorrow. I've just finished eating what I can consider a Christmas dinner that I've cooked, which was just some beef with some like parsnips, potatoes, all of those type of things, and then some little pigs in blankets and a little bit of homemade gravy to go with it. So yeah, it was quite nice. But now I'm on the vino just to wash it down. How about you? What have you got on your end?
Just some beers. I mean, I've been mixing around. I started off today at the pub with a Guinness. I've then had a few Aperol spritzes, bit of champagne. Now moving on to the beer as the evening progresses.
Mixing them up.
Sounds terrible, really, when I say it out loud. But I promise you, I've not actually had too much. Only been a glass of each one every time. Kathy there saying she's leaving work, driving home. Well,
nice.
Crazy that you was working today on Christmas. But nice that you've got some time off now. Saying breakfast for the BYU football team and their families. They play on Saturday in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Okay, interesting. So that's where you've been. And then your daughter's taking you out for dinner. Well, hopefully you have a lovely dinner. In terms of mine, I didn't have beef like you did. I went for the typical British roast with turkey, all of the trimmings. But it was dramatic. And that's why I said I'll save that for the episode. The reason it was so dramatic was come about 2:30. My mum was finishing off some of the last bits. Power cut. Everything down. The whole of my neighborhood. 700 houses affected. Nothing you can do. So I've been on the phone to them trying to put it as like a priority. Obviously, a lot of people are calling up. My mum and sister got a lot of the food, which was half cooked, out of the oven into the back of the car and started driving to my sister's flat. As they've got halfway to the flat, everything's come back on. So I've called them back. So it's been very topsy-turvy. And that's why I I'm very relieved I've been able to make it for 4:30 in the UK. I know we were 10 minutes late, but that was actually Ben's fault, not mine. But I was, for one moment, thinking, I've been saying to Ben, let's get here on time. Let's get here on time. And at one moment, I thought it was going to have to be me who's going to have to postpone. But I am here.
Yeah, it's fine. I think everybody who's been with us for long enough, they've waited longer than 5 minutes or 10 minutes before for us to start a stream. So I appreciate everybody just joining. And we got Jean in. It says member for 47 months.
Wow.
I mean, that's nearly 4 years, if I'm correct in my maths. 1 month away. That just goes to show how nice the community that we have on the channel. There's people who have been here for that many years, and still Gene, he's always messaging on Discord, always sending me the latest news. So I do see them. Sometimes I can't reply, but I do appreciate you always reaching out and keeping me up to date, sometimes on breaking news that I don't see until maybe I finish work some days. So yeah, this is like a sort of like a gratitude episode. It's Christmas. It's the time they have like Thanksgiving in the US. I think we've got a lot of things to be thankful for, and I think our community is one of them. So should we talk tennis today as well? Should we talk some? Because there's been some tennis going on, JG. Lerner TN winning the ATP Next Gen Finals. No Fonseca this year, and Lerner TN steps up, gets that title. I'm glad he came back for seconds. Something you can probably relate to, and low blow. And then he came in and he actually tied it up nice and fast as well. The final was very, very convincing, and I'm proud of him. And now he can put that to bed. He never needs to do the next gen thing again. I think focus on the main tour, and hopefully we see him at the real ATP Tour finals come December next year.
Yeah, but he was too good for that event. Like, it's surprising he played it. I mean, he was the standout player. It's like a Fonseca, I think, going in there. We saw Fonseca win last year, beating Tien in the final. I would have been surprised if Tien didn't win, looking at all the other players. Of course, I had Landaluce there, my wild card for next year. Not so big on him after watching that. And I think I picked the wrong Spaniard. I prefer I'm going to get in trouble here with my butchering of the name. But Jodar.
Oh yeah,
I know him. Guy. I think he's better. He beat him anyway. So yeah. Oh well, I picked it now. And I want to just give a shout out to everyone who's joined. And please give us your questions. Let us know what questions you have for me and Ben about tennis, about ourselves, about anything you want to talk about Christmas, and we will answer them live. I thought the best way to start with this Q&A was to give each other some questions. So do you have any questions for me to begin, Ben?
Personal ones or just in general?
Just anything in general.
Okay. Well, as these days I don't have a brain of my own, most of my thought process comes through AI. So I can give you some questions which have been provided to me, and I can make it seem like I've thought of them.
No, don't want that. I want something from your heart, Ben. I want it from you individually.
From me individually, right? Okay.
Yeah. I want it to be personal from you. A question which has been on your brain all year, something you want to know. If you want, I'll start things off, and it's a very orientated one. My first question for you, Ben, is the GOAT debate actually over?
Yes.
Why is it over?
For now, just because obviously we don't know when Alcaraz or Sinner or maybe the next generation, there's going to be somebody who goes even crazier than them. But for now, in this era of Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, I think it's over. So Djokovic is still playing. He's already got the most of everything, and he's still playing. I think there's no denying it. You even admitted it as well. I think even the Rafa fans, they stepped up and they said that they believe that he is. I think even Rafa's probably said it deep down that he thinks Djokovic is. But there's no doubt King of Clay will always be Rafael Nadal. And that's one thing we don't know if anyone will ever topple. That's the one difference, is someone may get more slams in the future than these guys, but I don't know if anyone will ever get more Roland Garroses.
Okay, my next question for you is, do you think Paula Badosa do you think she caused a rift in the relationship between Stefanos Tsitsipas and his dad?
Oh, I mean, it's a very insightful one there. Where do you come up with these? It's been on your mind all year long.
There's just loads of questions I've got for you. I just want to know if you think there's anything to do with it. I've been seeing a few tweets going about. So
No, I don't think so. I think that if anything, it might even be the other way round. I think that her being there, I watched some tweet earlier on today with her just like looking at his dad from the box and stuff like that. I think it's always awkward when you've got that type of relationship and how close he is with his dad as well. It's always going to be prickly. And she's obviously going to have her thoughts on how close their relationship is and how it affects his actual tennis game on the court. And I bet he didn't like that as well. We're probably seeing similar things right now with Alcaraz's dad and Juan Carlos Ferrero, because that's a topic that I'm sure people would have loved to hear us discuss. Right back at you then with Carlos Alcaraz and Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Vino's settled in. He's got some questions for me now.
Good. Yeah. So, what do you think with the Alcaraz scenario? Do you think that this is just
shame? I think it's a real shame. I think their relationship was so good. I feel like it was thicker than just friends. It felt like family bond, family tie. I feel like we've seen the best of Alcaraz working underneath him, and the coaching's been great. Their relationship's good. There was a moment when his father died, and he come the next day to Wimbledon to watch Alcaraz win Wimbledon. And I think a lot of it has just come down to money, which is tough considering Alcaraz is in a position where he's making so much of it. Surely the deal, you'd think, wouldn't be less than this year, which it seems like from what I've heard it was. So they've offered Juan Carlos Ferreira less money than what he received last year when Alcaraz becoming more successful. Just doesn't sit right. I think it's a bit upsetting, and I don't know if it's going to impact Carlos Alcaraz's season. The reason why I'm not sure is because I think he's so good that maybe it won't matter so much. And I think his game style is very independent to him. I think at times a little bit uncoachable. The charisma, the character, the unpredictability he's got on court is unique to Carlos Alcaraz. Difficult to coach that into someone.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But on the other hand, another way to look at it is, has Ferrero just let him be too much of his own man? And now we might get to see all of those skills that he's built through Ferrero. Will they be added to with somebody with a stricter training policy, a stricter match strategies? People more like a Sinner, the way that he sets himself up in matches is a lot more regimented, and the way that he can get through tournaments is a lot easier than the way Alcaraz seems to be able to do it. If he was just change a few little elements, you might lose the wow factor. For some reason, I'm thinking of Wayne Rooney when he went to Man United. He was absolutely ridiculous, but he was a hothead, used to get sent off, used to jump into tackles. Ferguson calmed him down, said, "You're going to be a team player now," built him into just like an amazing, like all-round footballer. But if Alcaraz had someone like that, would you lose a bit of your love for him because he doesn't have the wow factor anymore? Is he just a bit too?
I don't think you can't coach that out of someone, Ben.
Well, maybe not.
Of course you can't. You can't. That's like independent to who he is. You can't coach that out of Carlos Alcaraz, and that's why it's a big loss. It is a shame. Their relationship was good, and we've seen great results. I think it could be a little bit of a mistake, him not giving him the money. I think he should just pay him what he wants, kind of thing, within reason, obviously.
Bring in Nadal. Come on, we all want to see it.
But look how much money they make in like the Six King Slam and everything. Surely you can't pull back on the money. I don't think so, anyway. But I'm not going to go into the contract too much because they know the fine details better than what we do. Yeah. We've got a few questions from the live chat.
Go on.
We'll start with Gary, and this one's for you, Ben.
How many kilograms did you guys gain in Italy? That was the best collection of food photos I've ever seen. And that Gary referring to, if you are a Patreon member, go to the Patreon, and we put out a little vlog of some videos, some photos of our time in Bergamo and Bologna. And most of it was, I think Gary said 85% food and 5% tennis and some other miscellaneous stuff in between. Yeah, I think we probably did gain a little bit, but we did go running as well, though, while we were there. So hopefully we managed to shed a few pounds. We actually went to the gym as well, Gary. You must have seen that in the little vlog as well. So we weren't all food. There was some activity going on too.
I can disclose I did put on weight though, and I have been slowly building up my weight from the start of the year till now. Not on purpose, of course. I will be having to diet in the new year. I can't say how much I put on from Italy, but I went to Portugal maybe a month afterwards. And between probably the start of
Cheers.
Italy and Portugal, I would say I'm up about 4 kilograms, which is a
Oh.
substantial increase. Maybe 3.
4.
3 kilograms. But that is not to do with Italy. That's been just a gradual.
If you're in
putting on
America,
the
that's
weight.
around 10 pounds probably, if you want to go into that type of metric. But I've actually lost weight, if anyone is wondering. I was around 71 or 70 and a half kg, and I've gone down to 69. So don't know what's going on. Maybe too much running and not enough eating. I'm going to try and put paid to that over the next few days and try and scoff my face, have a few drinks, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more meat on the bones of Ben. But yeah, this is what the winter spell was for, isn't it? When you're supposed to like bulk up a little bit. I don't think I've done a good enough job so far.
Yeah, we got a good question from Gene, but this one's going to require some thought. So I don't know if you want to hold on this one and think about it, and then we'll come back and answer in a bit. But the question is, what players do you guys think can have an unexpected rise next year? Straight off the bat, though, it is that Jadar guy, or Jadar, the Spanish guy. I think he's really good. Watching him against Landaluce, I was impressed. But I'll answer that one in full towards the end. We've got Snellin, who's very happy. He's been consistently asking for live streams. And here we are. Christmas Day. It's a Christmas miracle. We're back with a live stream. And we're hoping to try and do some more. I know I teased the idea a few weeks ago, but I think it would be good if we have a regular time on a regular day where we do some kind of live stream. I think it's fun just speaking to you guys and being able to do a style of content which isn't going to be too difficult different from what we do, because we don't really edit much of what we do already. Like, it's very rarely. It's only if we make like something ridiculous mistake or more with our wording and the way we speak. But
or we can't get a tweet up on the screen for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's more technical problems what we would edit. So we find that live content is kind of what we are anyway. So it works.
Yeah. Oh, that's what our bread and butter is. That's what we built the whole channel off, is us being able to just go onto a stream, talk tennis, give each other a bit of a ribbon, and everybody else joining in as well. I mean, that's what the fun of this channel was, essentially that for a good couple of years straight we were doing that. And yeah, it was great fun. We had, obviously, just recently we were at the UTS. Go check out, I put out a video yesterday to do with endurance where I spoke to Cerundolo, Mahach and Manarino. So please go watch that one and share it around. There will be another video coming out tomorrow, which is the big release on Boxing Day. That one is a lot more interesting, I would say, for excitement. It is me playing mini table tennis against those same 3 players. It's a bit dramatic, so stay tuned for that. But while we were at the UTS, we did get to meet some other people. We actually got to meet Felix from the Tennis Brothers. He was there as well. So it was interesting speaking to some other people. And he referenced us and he said, when you did that Djokovic trial, he said that was like epic. He said it was like one of the things that we're best known for is our epic live streams. So, and that was the pinnacle, I think, of the channel at the time.
Yeah, less of the ribbon though, Ben. Anyway, let's get on to another question. And this is from Gary saying, question for the 2 of you and the whole group. He's been waiting to ask this one. Who will end 2026 higher, Emma or Layla, and why? We already know Ben has Emma inside his top 10 for the year. So you can begin with that logic. Might need another wine to explain this one.
Yeah, probably. Well, isn't this the year that you've booted Layla out of your top 10 as well? So she will be in there, I think, this year. You had her in last year. You're normally a year behind. So I've got a bad feeling that she's going to probably have her best year on tour now you've done that. I think it's going to be really close. I think they could both be in and around that top 10. Like Layla, we've obviously seen her win more titles in 2025, which is something that Raducanu just fails to do. She gets a lot of wild cards in. Those may dry up, but her performances have been better, and she's managed to play the whole year round. I've been very impressed by her longevity on the tour in 2025. It hasn't looked like the weak Raducanu. Obviously, she had all those surgeries, didn't she? She had 3 surgeries in one go. Now she's back after that. It looks like she isn't having the same level of problems that she was having before, that maybe she was just keeping quiet. And now they're fixed. Fingers crossed, 2026, we're going to have another clean sweep and she goes deep in tournaments. That's what I'm hoping.
And what about for Layla?
I think that she will pick up more. I think she'll pick up more tournament wins. They'll be smaller tournaments, but I think she will do that. And she may go deep at one of the slams, I think.
Okay, so currently, right now, let's get the rankings up. We have Layla Fernandez. She finished the year in 22. Raducanu finished in 29. You've predicted her to be top 10, and I've not predicted Layla inside my top 10. Probably one of the first years in 3. I've always got her just sort of in the or there or thereabouts. I think it's an easy one. I feel Layla Fernandez will finish above Raducanu. I think Ben's logic and feeling about Emma being inside the top 10 is purely built up on his infatuation for her and the fact that she's British, and his, I don't know, his love relationship he had at the beginning when she burst
I just
through.
think she has a higher ceiling. That's all. That's the main thing. Is I think her top.
But you do have a little bit of a special. There's some feeling you've got with Emma Raducanu.
Being British, yeah, but British players, I will always like champion more than other countries.
To a biased level, maybe a little bit like me with Rafael Nadal. I feel like deep down, even off stream, when we have conversations, you do have that Emma Raducanu glasses bias, and I just don't think she is. I think I would maybe agree with the fact that her ceiling, her best level, we've seen probably is better than Layla Fernandez. In fact, I think it is. Like her playing her best. We've seen her play very well against Sabalenka. We've seen her play against some of the very best players in the world and do quite well. And sometimes she does raise her level when she's playing the best. Some fantastic winners. But for me, tennis is a lot more than just about what you can do physically on a tennis court. I think mentally, she's not a real champion style player. I don't think she's got the. And people are going to comment and say, "Oh, she won the US Open." Yes, she did win the US Open. Doesn't mean I feel like she is an out and out champion, someone who can go with a mentality to go time and time again and win. Doesn't want to play the events. Likes going to places which look good for her. Loves all of the off court antics. Just not someone who I look at and think that is someone who's going to go and really win things.
I think it's calming down.
With Layla Fernandez is a different kind of ethos. She's someone who seems hungrier, who is just seems more dedicated to the cause. And I've said this for many, many years on the podcast. Saying that, they're very close in the rankings. There's not much in it. I don't think it's going to be Layla being really like a lot better than her, but I would expect Layla Fernandez to finish above. I think she will even finish above 22. Between 10 and 20. I think Raducanu, I think she'll be lucky to stay inside the top 30. For me, I expect her to go in north of that.
I don't know. There's so much opportunity. I think how you start the year is so important as well. She doesn't want to start 2026 badly, like an early exit at the Australian Open, that type of thing. If we get a small run, and I mean like 3rd round or something like that, that's still a bit of hope, I think, for Raducanu. It's all about getting a good draw, though. Fast courts. But I'm excited. I like the fact they're both the exact same age. They're both very close in the rankings. 2 to keep an eye on. We nearly got them playing each other in a tournament.
They played the final of the US Open in that Magic tournament.
We nearly got it again in a tournament recently, but unfortunately it didn't transpire. But would have been epic.
Yes. Shout out to So Iconic. Great to see you in. Another name from the past. Yeah. Can't believe it's been about 4 years since I've joined this community. Time flies. Well, thank you for joining. Let's have a look if we've got any more questions. We've got Gene in saying he thinks Raducanu will be higher ranked next year. And So Iconic does have a question for us. Let's answer this one. Will we see a Serena Williams on a court on the WTA circuit, be it a singles or doubles event? There was some talk with her going through the anti-doping. What was it?
I think it was the testing pool or something. So people were saying
she was entering into one of the testing pools.
She squashed that completely as well.
She is not playing tennis ever again.
No. Exhibition, maybe. That's the only time you might see it. Like Rafa and Roger, they've been speaking about exhibition. You might get all three of them at an exhibition. Maybe even Sir Andy will come along for a little hit as well, but he loves his golf a bit too much these days. I've got, if there are any other questions in there, I've got a question, a Christmas-themed one, if you want. I'll fire it to you. So if Santa watched all the tennis this year, who's on the nice list and who's on the naughty list of 2025? And then, just as sort of a follow-up, if tennis players had Christmas jobs, who would be Santa? Who would be the Grinch? And who's the elf who does all the work? There you go. So that maybe
too many questions there. You need to. My brain can't consume all of them.
Just the second one
at a time.
Okay, so go with the Santa and the Grinch. So who's the Santa on the tour? Let's just say men's tour.
I'll just give one.
Yeah, just one. Who do you think is
Casper
the Santa? Casper Ruud. Nice.
Casper
very generous.
Santa. He's a very nice guy. We got to see him behind the scenes at the UTS as well. We know what type of character he is. We know how fondly he speaks about the sport, the respect he has for everyone. I feel like he's just a good guy, Casper Ruud. You can't say much bad about him. I know Holger Rune had some things to say about some incident, but I don't know if that's even real. Really, Casper Ruud is just one of them nice guys. In terms of is it on the bad list or the Grinch?
The Grinch. The Grinch of the tour.
The Grinch of the tour. That is a lot meaner, and I can't quite think of one. I feel like Zverev naturally plays that role.
It's always Zverev.
But I actually feel harsh saying Zverev. I feel if you had to leave it to tennis fans to vote, they would probably go Zverev.
Maybe a Kyrgios, or maybe even I'd say Medvedev could be in the run-in. He's a person who acts like the Grinch a bit on the court.
True.
And then who's the elf who does all the work?
The elf that does all the work has got to be Alex de Minaur.
Alex de Minaur.
Like, he has got to be the elf that does all the work. And I'm not referencing his height.
No.
Or anything like that. He's just a very hard-working guy who covers a lot of ground. Perfect for an elf.
Exactly right. It definitely is perfect for that. That question we got asked earlier on, was it who's had the biggest rise or something? Was it in 2025? Was that the question?
No,
trying to remember it.
It was something about. It was from Gene. Here we go. What player do you think can have an unexpected rise next year?
I've got one which is sort of ties along with that, which is sort of your, without talking about slams and they're the obvious ones, which has been like your best story of the year, of a person you didn't expect to be like, that was like, whoa, that person just sort of came out of nowhere, and what a nice story.
God.
Because I've got one, which I think you're going to probably agree with.
Probably the same one, isn't it?
Yeah, the man from Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And him and his cousin playing each other constantly. Vachereau. I think that story for the year was, he's just always been there, but never really done anything. And this year, it just all came true, didn't it? Just an unbelievable performance. And to win that final was just insane. Vachereau.
It's crazy because I can't actually think about all of the moments. I know he was voted Breakthrough Player of the Year, Vachereau. And I remember throughout the year I was speaking about him and saying that he should definitely get that. But he won a Masters outside the top 200, then beat his cousin in the final, going from 204 to 31 in basically a month. That is something we've not seen very often. Wow. On top of that, the whole meme of him as a name from all of the draw previews we've done for the past 5 years, it's always been a bit of a joke where we think, yeah, he's going to go out. We don't really think too much about it. There was that period where Basashvili was losing all the matches, and it was like, yeah, he's going to lose again. And he kind of felt a little bit like that. So to go from there to be a hero winning Masters events, beating so many good players, I can't even remember who they all were now.
Djokovic, one of them.
Yeah, but I can't remember the whole run. It just feels like, I don't know, this year has passed by so quickly, and so many of the tennis events for me are all blurred, because the problem with doing a podcast, and this is something which I've never really spoke about, is I feel like doing these episodes where we speak and do podcasts makes me forget more about tennis than if I wasn't doing it, because we talk so much about things that it doesn't just stay in my brain. We talk about so many different events and so many different years of the same events that I can just blur it all into one. And if you ask me who won Madrid last year, I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah, I need a reference point somehow.
Because it's just too confusing, because I'm thinking, well, Zverev was good there. I know Alcaraz done very well there. But who won it last year? I can't think off the top of my head now.
I'll give you...
I bet you can't either, though, can you?
No, it's difficult to think of just tournament winners just throughout the year. I mean, because we've done every year, so you just end up maybe...
Sabalenka won of the women's, but the men's... It was Casper Ruud.
There you go. Yeah,
and I would never have guessed that.
Wouldn't have come straight to my mind thinking Madrid and him.
Yeah.
But this run from Vachereau, it was Rinderknecht, obviously final, Djokovic semi-final, who he beat in straight sets, Holger Rune in the quarterfinals. Who did he have before that? Griekspoor, who was playing fantastically before that. That was a close three-setter. Thomas Mahatch, Bublik, who was in good form as well, and Laszlo Djere as well. And I believe he came through qualifying as well, didn't he? So I think that the whole thing was just bizarre that he managed to achieve a Masters championship. So you got to give him his props. Not many people in their career will win a Masters, and he did it the hardest way possible. Made a name for himself. Was definitely one of those stories that was a heartwarming one, but it's not just like, oh, it's Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic all the time winning. It was one that I was actually interested in watching the tournament the more it progressed, and you got to see these unknown names actually doing well, which is rare, because sometimes when unknown players go further, the interest dips off a bit, and then people aren't giving it that same level of interest. But the fact that there was that family narrative going on into the final, it made it so much more dramatic. Yeah, one of the moments of the year for sure.
Okay, I've got a question for you. Let's see if I can find it, because I've got a few here which I want to just ask.
Go on.
You have to bear with me now, because I'm just
no worries.
I'm thinking about it.
Good.
It's about clutchness. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
is being clutch mostly a myth?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
I think the funny thing is, like, I think even when we started doing the podcast,
so clutchness is not a myth for you.
Not for me, but
can that be a characteristic of a player who's just like very clutch?
Yeah, but let me explain. Like, when we first started doing this podcast, and I kept hearing people say, "Oh, that was clutch. Oh, that's clutch." It used to get under my skin so much. I used to be like, "Oh my god, why does everyone keep saying clutch?" But now, I would happily use clutch, because I think it does represent how good players are in a big moment, and no better than the top players on the tour. Like, if you get a big break point, or if you got a match point, only the real clutch players are the ones who can get that over the line. There's other players fall apart, and they are not clutch. I don't know what the opposite of clutch is. Is there a word for it? Let us know in the live chat.
Not clutch.
Yeah, not clutch, but it's just there must be another word. Just, yeah, they fold like a deck chair. I've seen that so many times on Twitter. People just saying, when like people like Cam Norrie, I'm sorry to always bring his name into the equation, but knows how to throw away a lead. But there are a lot worse players than him, that's for sure, that are doing that. Bottler, yeah, that's probably, I think it's a bit harsh to call someone just a bottler though, because I think that they have to do it regularly on occasion throw it away at like match points and stuff. But
What about this one?
the opposite, the opposite of clutch is Musetti. Yeah, it wasn't the case in that tour finals, though, was it? I mean, it was pretty clutch in that match, wasn't it, against Dimonor?
Okay, I've got another question for you, if I can remember it. Let's have a look. Where was it? I should probably have it ready before I keep saying this. I keep completely forgetting them. Okay, yeah, it's not one I've written down. It's one I was thinking in my head. So, is a player with a good offense better than a defense? What do you think is more impressive?
What's more effective or what's more impressive?
What's more impressive?
I think to the casual eye, it would just be aggression on a tennis court. That's more impressive.
You know what? I completely disagree. I could not disagree more with that.
Yeah,
that question is so easy for me to decide to come to an answer. I think a great defense is always better than a better offense.
So that's why you like Djokovic so much. Defense is just impenetrable.
No, because I'd explain it, because it's a mix of both of them. The reason why a good defense is more impressive is because when you've got a really good defense, you have an ability to neutralize a rally, which looks like it's done. Carlos Alcaraz does it so many times. You see him sliding into the corner, getting a ball back, hitting it deep. You can see like the disbelief coming out of the opponent when certain balls are coming back, which you would not expect them, especially if you don't just get it back. You get it back with some deep. You put them in a bit of a bother. So I think a great defense, which can put you on the front foot, is for sure always the most exciting.
There you go. Djokovic is the most exciting. You heard it here first from JG of all people. But yeah, it is one of those things that defense, if you can turn defense into attack, it's probably the most impressive, right? That's what we've been seeing from Jannik Sinner over the past year or so. He turns a defensive position into an offensive shot. That's one of the hardest things to do in tennis. And that's why he is where he is, right at the top of the sport. Not quite at the top, but pretty close.
I've got Jean in saying, you better step up your game next year, Ben.
My actual tennis game, definitely.
I need you to beat JG for once. Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
Saying, yes, Ben, you have to beat JG at some point. What's
Don't
going
worry,
wrong with you, Ben?
I mean, I picked up a set, didn't I, when we were away? So I didn't do too badly. But I have this terrible second set mentality, which I don't know if other players have this. As soon as you win the first set, I'm completely relaxed, and then it's almost like I'm happy that I just won the set, and then I just lose the second set every time.
Okay, I've got another question for you. If you was to be stranded on a tennis island, and you could only have one item of tennis apparatus, what would you choose? So is it got to help me?
Is it got to help me survive, or is it
not
just
Epstein's
like
island?
fun?
It's just a random island.
Oh
God! What item? What tennis item would you want with you? You can choose one thing from your tennis bag.
Is it a survival thing, or is it like just for fun?
Just whatever you fancy.
I think it would be it just depends. If it's really hard, or do I need to use it as a weapon? Like, part of me, my first thought was tennis ball, because if I've got a ball, I can always play football with that ball. I can play other games with it. I'm not trying to survive because I've got everything else.
Your first thing on this island by yourself is just have a good time.
Yeah, just literally just have fun. But if it's about survival, then I'm probably going to want the racket. I think I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to hunt with. I'm going to be able to get a few stones, like hit them, a few like wild boar, something like that. Get some fish. If it snows, I can use it as like one of those things you tie to your foot, like so you can walk around. It? Possibly as a little net as well. See, loosen the strings a bit. just I don't know how this is going to work. Sharpen the end, turn it into a bit of a spear. I don't know. Sounds all very.
Get the strings out and make traps with it.
Maybe you could. I'm sure even if it was just one racket, I don't think it's enough apparatus there to be able to build a trap. Might be able to catch a squirrel or something at
What about your
best.
tennis shoes?
Nah, just go
Because
bare feet.
I've got to add some criteria on this
Oh,
island.
okay.
You're naked completely.
Oh no.
So all you
Tennis
could have
racket's
is
not gonna tennis racket's not gonna help me out too much then. Maybe just pants then. Tennis some tennis shorts. That's what I need.
Why? It doesn't matter.
You never know. I don't want to get some mosquitoes biting me in the nether regions. And maybe I'll need something. I'll have to go scouting around the island to get some leaves or loincloth. No, actually, you could do that though, couldn't you? You get the animal fur, then you could create your own clothes.
No, you just do it from leaves. No, if you have a tennis racket, you get rid of like the string of the tennis racket. You make like some pants with it, and just add like little leaves. And you can make a trap with the rest of it.
You could take the grip off. There you go. Yeah, that's like a belt. Like a belt. There you go.
No, I was going to put that around my head just to look scary.
Yeah, like Rambo.
Well, we've got Gary and saying Tom Hanks had Wilson.
See the ball
in the classic movie. I'd choose a ball so I could have someone to talk to.
Exactly. Just drew a face on it. There you go. You got Wilson. And that, as it's a tennis ball, you could have Wilson as well. Much like the movie. Was it a volleyball or something he had in that one though? It wasn't a football. I think it was a Wilson ball though, wasn't it? I think it might have been volleyball. Let us know in the live chat. But yeah, any other questions?
Oh, I've got loads. So I've got more of a normal one this one. So should draws for tournaments be completely random?
No, because
say you got a Grand Slam, 128 players, and it's completely random.
Alcaraz first round, great. Everyone's like, "Oh, the tournament's ruined," but this is the final. But and then everyone switches off after that match because they know
after the first round of Sinner and Alcaraz, you just know who wins the whole thing.
Exactly. So I think that there needs to be seeds, but there can't ever be behind closed door draws though, and we need to see live draws from these things. I don't even know if I trust people picking them out of a pot either. There needs to be a way of randomizing them to make it fair. But yeah, 1 and 2 should always be on the opposite side.
Is there such thing as real tennis rivalries in 2025? Or do you think they're just forced by the media?
Well, no, they're forced by players wanting to be the best. That's all they're for. Then
tell me about some big rivalries you know on the tour right now. Which you think
only know one. Yeah, there's only one. There's only one real rivalry on the tour. Unless you want to say something like Zverev Fritz is a rivalry, but he keeps beating him all the time. So I don't even know if that's a rivalry. I'd say TN Medvedev's probably a bigger rivalry than that one right now, because I'm more interested in seeing who comes out on top in that match. Alcaraz Sinner's the main rivalry. It's because the best players are always fighting, making each other better, trying to get number one, trying to win slams. Whoever is close at the back end of all of these slams, they're the ones with the real rivalries, aren't they? And I don't really see any other players. No one's created the narrative. The closest one that we had this year, I would say, is probably TN Medvedev. That's the most entertained I've been from two players playing each other back to back in a few tournaments, not knowing who's going to win.
Okay. I've got another question for you.
What about on the women's? Who are the biggest rival? Because I think that is slightly more.
I mean, the biggest rival on the women's is the same thing. It's Iga versus Sabalenka.
Do you not think that there's other people can slot themselves into the equation a bit more, like Coco and Rebecca?
Ostapenko versus Iga, I think it's an interesting rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very weird rivalry, that one.
And I quite like Osaka versus Coco Gauff. Iga versus Collins is one where there's a lot of bad blood, which is a good one.
Right, Madison Keys, she's inserts herself into the equation against some hard hitters.
True.
Not really rivalries though. Like, she doesn't really have anybody when she goes up against them that you just think, oh, these two, when they get head to head, this is just going to be fireworks. Yeah, it's tough to think of those ones. Doesn't really happen as much, I think, on the women's side. What about on the men's side with players who just don't get on with each other. It used to be Tsitsipas Medvedev was a brilliant one on the men's with the dances they kept doing after each time they won the matches. So
Well,
that was.
Shelton Djokovic, I don't think's great.
Well, I think Shelton could have many rivals if he wanted them. It's just about creating the narrative or the media helping to create it for him, I think. But yeah, Shelton is he's a very
Sinner's just not a good rivalry because Sinner just completely budders him.
He
it's
needs
close,
more to
but
his
it's
game.
just like Sinner wins.
Yeah, Sinner's just far superior to Ben Shelton right now. Ben Shelton's got a lot though that he can offer, but it's just not enough all-round game. Needs to get maybe better movement, maybe better backhand. The serve is obviously amazing already, but maybe needs against the bigger players to be more unpredictable because I think Sinner reads his serve far too well.
Okay, question from the live chat. Do you think Carlos will complete the career Grand Slam at the Australian Open 2026?
Good question. That is something that I hadn't really thought about, but it's going to be one of our biggest draw previews probably of the year because Carlos never won it. Now he's looking right at the top. Obviously, we've given our predictions on who we think is going to win it, but it could change. I think we're both going with Sinner. Was that right?
Yeah.
For Australian Open because he just looks so dominant there. It's going to take Sinner being under the weather a little bit or having some sort of issue for him not to win it. That's the way I feel coming into this.
It's tight between these two. I mean, if Sinner's not going to win it, then Alcaraz probably will.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the big problem. And if they don't win it, then there's going to be a nearly 40-year-old guy who's just waiting in the wings going, oh, you guys both out. Do you mind if I come in and grab another slam, which will be Mr. Novak?
Yeah, Kathy makes a good point as well, thinking that Carlos could have some mental baggage from the split. Could be a little bit too soon to go on and just win a slam straight off the back of that.
Oh, it's a big FU just to say, like, here we go. It was all me all along. I didn't even need a coach. I can go the whole season just with, is it Samuel Lopez? I think he's just keeping just the one coach.
I thought it was going to be his brother.
I still think Rafa just do a Murray with Djokovic style thing. Just come in for a few months, just around Roland Garros. Just give us a Roland Garros with Nadal and Alcaraz. Just Nadal in his box, just giving a few Vamoses. That would be epic.
Far too soon. All right. I've got another question for you. I've just thought about.
Oh wow!
Would you rather
have
a tennis racket?
Oh no! Is this on the island again?
No, what squeak every single time you hit the ball, or your shoelaces come untied after every point?
Like squeaks. Like the other one's far too annoying. I can't have shoelaces coming untied. You
have to tie it up every point.
So it'd be gamesmanship. They'd call you out for it, wouldn't they? The umpire would not stand for it.
No, there's nothing you can do. Just whatever pair of shoes you wear, it will always happen. Your feet just do not allow shoelaces at all.
But it is annoying when you get like, I don't know if you've ever had a racket or before where it just makes a weird noise when you.
Oh, it's a really loud one. Like every single shot, it makes a loud noise.
But surely that would be hindrance to your opponent. So you'd lose every match due to hindrance of your racket. So either way, you're hindering your opponent.
This is a hypothetical question, Ben. You're being too logical with your response. Obviously, you're not going to have this decision to make. But if you had to choose one, which one is it?
The shoelace. I'm going to do the shoelace up after every point.
Well, you want the shoelace? You said you didn't want that.
Yeah. No, I've changed it because I've just thought during the rally it's going to put me off so much with that noise. I don't know if I was a coach. Am I allowed to wear earplugs while I'm playing?
No.
Oh, yeah, definitely the shoelace.
Okay. Have you got a question for me, or shall I keep firing them off?
Well, keep firing if you want. Otherwise, we'll go back to Gene's question.
Go on then. Has Gene got a new one?
No, just the one from the start. You said we're going to come back to it.
Okay. If we have to go back to it, does he have to be outside the top 100? Or just anyone?
I think it doesn't. I think just anyone who's going to have a great year. I think
I'm going to go with Jacob Burnley. I've been thinking about it.
Okay. Where is he ranked at the minute?
70 something.
71. I was thinking
he's above 100. That's why you can't pick him as like a wild card player. But I actually think Jacob Burnley is quality. I think he's class. He's a really good player. And if he
He
gets
is.
better than what he was last few years, or last year particularly, then that is a player who can push maybe to the levels of a Jack Draper in a few years. I think he's so good. But yeah, I think he's a player to watch out for next year, who nobody's talking about. Jacob Varney. And I'm not massive on British players, as you know, but I think he's a really good one.
My pick, it was one that I was close to picking for my wild card. I obviously went a bit more wild. I went for someone who was like 240 in the world for my wild card. This one is 104. It's someone we watched in person, I think, a couple of times. Ignacio Busa from Peru. I think he's just started to play in a few bigger ATP events in the back end of last year, starting to ply his trade against some of these bigger players. I think now he's just outside the top 100. I expect him to be well inside the top 100, maybe even top 50. Could even knock on the door of top 30 if he really puts it all together. So Busa for me, I think that he will have a good year next year.
Yeah, and the other one who I was going to pick for mine as well was Blocks.
Block
Belgium.
X, is that? I don't even know. How do you say his name? Block X. Block
That's
X.
how Elon calls him, but I call him Blocks.
Blocks.
I think he's really good, and someone I was going to pick. He got to the final, losing to TN. One to watch for sure.
I've just asked for some ridiculous questions, and I've got some ridiculous ones.
Okay, well, Gary here. We'll do the last few, and then we'll wrap it up because my family are probably wondering where I've disappeared to. Gary saying, I've already forgotten if you guys picked Zheng to be top 10. Is this the year she makes a big move forward? We did joke about this because neither of us did pick her to be top 10, which means she probably will now. Ben famously had her like fourth, I think, one year.
Two, I think. Second, I think I had. I went way over the top.
I don't know what you were doing that year.
I don't know. It's a bit of a random one. Yeah, she'll be in the top 10 for sure now. We neither of us have picked her. Yeah, some of these
fire away some of these ones.
Yeah, it's just some very weird ones. It just says which tennis player would be the worst doubles partner on a night out?
Which what?
Tennis player would be the worst doubles partner on a night out.
So does it have to be a doubles player?
No, they just have to be a person they're going out with you as like a doubles pairing on a night out.
Why would a doubles pairing go on a night out?
Don't know. You're just going out. It's like me and you going out. It's just trying to say who would be the person that would be the worst person to go up. That takes us back to probably the second podcast you ever did.
I just feel like it would be. I don't know.
He said he'd just sit there and just sip his vodka. Wouldn't say much.
I don't think that now. I just feel like he could be a little bit angry. I always see him in an angry way. That's why.
Starts a fight outside the club.
Yeah, he could be a bit argumentative.
What about this one then? If tennis players had a group chat, who's muted, who's removed, and who screenshotted the most messages? Who's muted?
Who's muted? Probably
Medvedev's. Yeah, Kyrgios or Medvedev, I think, gets muted.
Muted. Who's screenshotting?
Tsitsipas.
I think Bublik would screenshot because he'd like to stir it up a bit. I think he would like the drama.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's the last one? Who's blocked?
Who gets removed from the group?
Probably Sinner because he keeps beating everyone and they've had enough of him.
Juicy Bear says Runa removed. He's already injured. You just kick him out as well. Kick a man while he's down. He can't even play tennis at the moment. Now he's removed from the group chat. Oh dear.
Yeah, they're removed. He keeps winning. Can't have someone and keep beating him all.
Yeah, they can't talk about him while he's in there.
No.
That's it.
But there we go. Yeah. I think we'll wrap it up there. It's almost been an hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Merry Christmas to all. Thoughts to everyone who is maybe having a more difficult Christmas this year as well. Something we've not spoke about. But I feel like when you lose people, it often comes a lot harder to have a Christmas. So I'm thinking about you during this period. And onwards and upwards.
That's it. Here's to a fantastic Christmas and 2026. And remember, please watch the content coming out tomorrow. It'll be around 7 p.m. Boxing Day, UK time.
Perfect. See you then, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
How do we end these things?
Don't know.